Today, loved ones gathered on the side of a rural Central Texas road to honor the 5 young women killed while on a girls' trip for a birthday. That wreck happened late last month along US 281 between Marble Falls and Burnet. According to court records, the man who police think caused that crash has had several run-ins with the law, including DUIs. And according to an arrest warrant affidavit, Cody Talley was driving a truck on July 25th loaded with horses. The affidavit states that he was driving on the wrong side of the road when he hit 2 vehicles.
Those didn't go out how they were supposed to. They burned. The car flipped. Nobody deserves to go out like that. I don't wish that on my own enemies.
What these families need are answers, and they need some sort of accountability to be taken by the driver of this dangerous vehicle.
And police believe Talley's accelerator pedal was pressed down 100% at the time of the impact. We have not yet been able to connect with his attorney. A City of Austin funded violence intervention group that offered resources in the aftermath of last week's triple homicide at a Target on the north side wants to continue to expand its reach.
KXAN's Brianna Hollis dives into how much money the group has now and how they hope to grow.
From the streets to Austin City Council chambers.
If I'm being honest, I think we've been stretched.
Michael Salazar and others with violence intervention group ATXPs fought to secure every dollar possible for their public safety efforts,
Which would allow us to continue to support at a greater capacity.
Before we break down those numbers for you, let's talk about what ATXPs does. Staffers work to identify root causes of violence within the community and offer resources, anything from tutoring and after school care to counseling and employment services. They also respond to crime scenes to help people on site.
The Target triple homicide was the most recent example. The group showed up offering these flyers to folks in the parking lot.
But we're entering into these places that where harm has been done. We need to be able to do that at a greater capacity.
While they are able to respond to most of these cases, their overall reach isn't quite where they want it just yet.
Right now, there are families that aren't being served. Right now, there are phone calls that aren't being answered.
The budget council approved last week includes $1 million city dollars for community violence intervention. That's double what such efforts got last time around. ATXP's particularly adamant about upping this budget after more than $1 million in federal violence intervention funding got cut earlier this year.
Whether you grew up in the hood or you grew up in the suburbs, everyone's impacted by it.
Brianna Hollis, KXAN News.
And while the City Council approved the budget last week, the process did trigger a tax rate election, so certain elements of the budget could change based on what voters say in November. Going in depth, below are the types of organizations eligible to apply: institutions of higher education, independent school districts, nonprofits, and local governments. But the grant criteria is still unknown as the process is in the early.
And first, a new timeline Travis County sent to lawmakers over the devastating July floods reveals more about the county's emergency response during those first critical hours. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jennifer Sanders.
And I'm Daniel Marin. KXAN's Grace Reeder got her hands on that timeline and breaks it down for us tonight.
This new timeline from Travis County, sent to lawmakers and obtained by KXAN, walks through what the county knew when and how it responded during fatal floods last month. The document reveals just before 11 p.m. on July 4th, the Travis County Emergency Management Duty Officer reported they were monitoring severe weather but did not anticipate severe flood impacts to Travis County. An hour later, that person called dispatch to see if anyone had reported flash flooding. No one had. But just a few minutes later, around midnight on July 5th, the National Weather Service issued a flash flood warning via text, which was, quote, the first National Weather Service warning to include the areas of Big Sandy and Windy Valley, areas hit hardest in Travis County. At 12:23 a.m., only around 20 minutes later, the county says it got its first water rescue call. And at 12:36 a.m., that emergency management duty officer asked the National Weather Service to upgrade its alert to the most severe, a flash flood emergency. The National Weather Service did that at 12:41. What came after that, folks on the ground told us, was nothing short of chaos. Hundreds of 911 calls, dozens of first responders from 12 different outside homicide agencies called in to help. By 10 p.m. on July 5th, Travis County's situational report showed more than 50 people had been evacuated, 9 were rescued, and Starflight was unable to get to the area because of heavy rain. The next day, July 6th, when the rain had stopped and the water subsided, search and rescue efforts were significant. We also have a full report on that, including what we saw ourselves and documented, over at KXAN.com. Grace Reader, KXAN News.
And there has been significant misinformation shared about Travis County's response, which is why we think it's important to make sure that we share all of that information with you. We have this timeline in full for you right now at KXAN.com. Last month's flood cut off access to and from homes between Jonestown to Marble Falls, and high waters washed away the RM 1431 bridge at Cow Creek. Tomorrow, state and federal officials will cut the ribbon of the rebuilt bridge and open it to traffic. It is opening about a month ahead of schedule. Currently, drivers have to take a 40-minute detour.
Well, today another local business was cleaning up after an overnight break-in.
And it comes after 2 other burglaries in the area off 183 near iFly over the weekend, and a series of break-ins and robberies in the past week or so. Jayla Washington explains what businesses are changing and what they're hoping might help police catch those responsible.
Hot pizza's made to order on Monday despite these masked, hooded burglars caught on camera robbing East Side Pies over the weekend.
It makes me mad.
Noah Polk, the shop's owner, is fed up because he says they've dealt with this multiple times.
Technically 4.
And that's just in over a week at 3 different locations.
It's like, man, it must be somebody we've dealt with before to, man, this is so much that it couldn't possibly be anybody that we've really crossed paths with.
Here in this plaza off US 183, at least 4 businesses hit just since Saturday, including one of East Side Pies locations. These are photos from the break-in at Bon Mi Oven, the owner telling me the burglar cut off the building's power and smashed the door and stole an empty cash register. Amy's Ice Cream and Phil's Ice House tells us they also had doors pried open and glass shattered.
I've never seen it this frequent in the 20 years almost that we've been doing this.
Austin police confirmed that detectives are investigating a series of break-ins at several of these businesses at the strip mall. All the break-ins happened overnight, and they do think the burglaries are connected.
It seems to be a bigger, larger case, and I feel like these dudes are going to get caught.
In the meantime, these signs on East Side Pie store doors, no longer accepting cash, waiting and hoping to be left alone.
The just grinding through.
Jayla Washington, KXAN News.
And crime data from the Austin Police Department shows in the last 5 years there have been a few dozen burglaries and just over 200 robberies in the 183 area. And in some months there have been multiple in 1 week, sometimes days apart, like in this case.
Good morning on this Tuesday, August the 19th, as we take a live look this morning at the state capitol right in the middle of your screen, because we are still in the middle of some pushback. This morning, Democrats are waking back up in Texas. During yesterday's roll call, they had enough members to present to meet quorum. But the House Speaker does not want to have a repeat of what happened before. So KXAN's Barrett Tryon is live for us in the studio to explain what is he going to do to make sure Democrats stick around. Good morning, Barrett.
Hey, good morning, Sally. House Speaker Dustin Burrows ordered the doors to the chamber be locked. He also said members needed written permission to leave the chamber. Now, for those House Democrats who broke quorum, there's also an extra step going on here. They can only get permission to leave after being released into custody of a designated DPS trooper. That trooper is around to make sure that they come back to the House when it reconvenes tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. At least one Democrat, though, has not left the floor yet. State Representative Nicole Collier has been broadcasting on X live stream all night. Democrats, though, say this fight is far from over. Republicans argue it's enough with the games and they're ready to pass some legislation.
First session is over. It's time to go back. That wasn't what I said I was going to do. What I said I was going to do was fight these maps with every tool in the toolbox.
No seats vacated, no arrest. The governor, nor the speaker, nor the lieutenant governor ever pledged to kill even one piece of legislation by these rogue Democrats. Hell, they still have their parking spots.
And members who broke quorum face up to $7 grand in fines. That adds up to $500 a day for the 2 weeks that they were gone. Now, some Republicans have called for stricter punishments. Harrison, you just heard from there, said the governor should kill all future bills authored by Democrats, a fight that continues still this morning. Back to you guys.